And welcoming back to the show is Master Roaster. He's been going at it very religiously since 2010. Kevin Gootee is here on the show.
What's going on? How are you doing?
Enjoying ourselves way too much.
That's the spirit.
I'm your host, Sully, and once again, great to do another comedy sit down. Once again, Kevin is the host of Gutting the Sacred Cow, which takes on movies to dispute whether they're overrated or not. I gotta ask you, my dude, if you had to pick, would you do Star Wars, Die Hard, or Back to the Future?
They've all been done. All three of those movies have been done in the podcast.
No. Like, if you had to pick which one can exist and the other two have to die.
Yeah, the other two have to die?
Yeah, like, you can only kill your darlings. You can only pick one.
If I have to, boy, well, I love Die Hard, but that's the first to go. And again, I don't take this lightly.
I figured Back to the Future is going to win by just an edge. No,
I don't know. I could even. I'm even arguing Star Wars. I think I'll keep Star Wars. I mean, Back to the Future is a perfect film. So is Star Wars, but actually, Star Wars is but Back to the Future is perfect. But I can watch any of them at any time. They both pass the remote test with flying colors. I just prefer Star Wars.
Okay, perfect. Do you watch them quite a lot with your family?
I got my daughter into Star Wars a little bit, the original ones. She hasn't. She watched the first two. She didn't watch Jedi yet. That's on me. But they had Empire out a few years ago, right when the pandemic was starting to kind of drop a little bit, the 40th anniversary. So I took her to see that. She dug it. She hasn't seen anyone else except for, again, Star Wars and Jedi, and she kind of likes them. Back to the Future, no, that'll be lost on her. She's 6. She's not going to get all that. So I saw it when it came out in the theater in 1985. What was I, 8? 8.
That's a good age.
9? 8. I was 8. So, yeah. It's much watch for her. That's for damn sure.
Nice. I love it. I love the enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
So. Tell us a little about yourself. Just growing up, finding your comedy style, and what comedians influenced your on-the-spot kind of persona.
I think that's easy-ish. I mean, I grew up in my formative years, late 80s to early 2000s, and that was really Dice, Eddie Murphy, and Sam Kinison.
Ooh.
Those were the three. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have HBO. I had friends who had it. And whenever you get that free HBO preview on cable, I was scouring through the listings, and I got Eddie Murphy Raw, and I go, what the fuck is this? This is brilliant. And it was. I mean, I didn't see Delirious until years later, but it was fantastic. Loved Raw, and then Dice. I mean, when you're a kid, the nursery rhymes, you're like, hickory dickory dock. You think you're the cool kid on the bus because you could say, suck at my cock, oh, and then you get older and go, that's kind of pedestrian. But Dice had a lot of great other shit besides that, besides this, the nursery rhymes. And Kinison hit me in a different way. I mean, people say Carlin was the most prolific of all time. I say Kinison. Go back and listen to Kinison stuff now, and you will say, holy shit. And it's a lot of stuff he says now it'd be canceled in a heartbeat. For example, his whole bit on, and it's perfect, it's a brilliant bit, this is how you get rid of the homeless. You have a line for unemployment, and they come up, and the guy goes, I've been holding out for this executive job a little long, and I think I got something else. And the first guy, and the guy behind the counter shoots him in the face. And the next guy's like, whoa. I'll get a paper out. I promise you.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I have heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. He's great. Kinison. He's great. There's one album he has. It's crowd work, which you rarely do. Now you see a lot more of it. Crowd work during a special was a big no-no. But this one guy said something like, oh, did anyone ever break your heart? And this guy goes, yeah. And he's like, what happened? And he's like, she fucked my best friend. He's like, what? She fucked your best friend? He goes, bring me the phone. We're going to call her. And he calls this woman live on stage. He goes, and he gets the friend's roommate. He goes, you tell her she's a fucking bitch. She's a fucking cunt. Oh. I mean, it's all spur of the moment. It was great.
That is great.
Yeah, amongst other things he did. Some and his bits were very thought. And my favorite was where a guy, dies and his body's in the morgue, but his spirit is still intact, and he says, I had a good life. I did pretty good stuff. I think I did some interesting things, and then. Wait a minute, what's this going on? Why is someone grabbing my ass? And it turns out it's the coroner, and the coroner is a necrophiliac, and he goes, "It never ends. It never ends. Even when you're dead, you still get fucked in the ass." I'm not doing the bit justice. Go listen to it, but it's great.
He is a great one. Rest in peace for him, man.
Yeah, but my favorite of all time are twofold, and that's Dave Attell and Rodney Dangerfield, 1A and 1B.
Very cool. Favorites. And did you see their stand-up first, or was that just kind of this was later as you were seeing their movies at friends' houses?
Rodney, I saw the movies first, and then the HBO specials he always did where he brought up. I mean, he gave a start to so many comics. Tim Allen, Roseanne, was Seinfeld one of them? He had a ton. David Spade, Rob Schneider. Dice is another one. He had all these guys.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow was on one of those. He didn't make it from that though. But he so many of those comedy specials he had, and he got these guys on and girls on. So I saw Rodney's movies first, and when I got introduced to Attell, I was watching Insomniac on Comedy Central. A
great show.
And then it was amazing. And then my ex-girlfriend said for my birthday, she's like, let's go to Caroline's in the city and see somebody. And we're gonna go, and I got sick. And I said, she goes, well, take a look at I said, so let's reschedule. I said, all right. So I looked at the calendar, and it says David Attell. He always plays Caroline's Christmas week. I go, I remember that guy from Insomniac. He's hilarious. Saw him. I go, wow. He's a goddamn dynamo, a hurricane. He's the best. Ask all comics. Real comics are going to say David Attell by far and away. Comics watch his set at all times. Yes. And if he's on the same show, they'll come and they'll watch his set. And then I downloaded the best album of all time for comedy, and that's Skanks for the Memories. The best. I dare you to try and tell me it's not the best comedy album you've ever heard.
I have no doubt. I miss when comedy albums were a thing, and now it just seems like, even though it is digital, people kind of forget the whole fun of just loading that cassette, putting that disc in, and just having that as your trip.
Yeah, Dennis Leary, No Cure for Cancer. There was another one.
Yes,
that was a great one.
Oh man!
And of course, Chris Rock, Bring the Pain is on the Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm. You're missing just you're listing highlights of the '90s so far.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, it's
So,
that's true.
Were you always a New Yorker, or did you move there later?
No, I grew up in Jersey. I grew up in Central Jersey, and then moved to North Jersey for work back in 2003. So, and now I live literally across the river from the city. So it's a quick jaunt in and out. My wife and I both work in the city, so it's again, we're a 10-minute train ride in.
I'm in the city.
Yeah. Where are you based out of? I guess San Fran because of the bridge, or just because
I have family there. I'm actually a Dallas, Texas native.
Oh, no kidding. All right. I've been there a couple times. Well, I should say a Grapevine. No, I've been to Dallas. Downtown Dallas is very boring. I was very surprised how dead it was on a Saturday afternoon. Yes. I was like, how is this possible? This is a major city.
It's amazing. 5 lanes and no fucker can merge. None whatsoever.
Well, I'm not surprised. No one else not any people outside of the Northeast can drive worth a shit, especially when they're out in a foreign area. But yeah, I would suspect that's the case. I believe you.
Yeah, it is the thing. So you mentioned on a few different episodes how you were kind of studying film and tempted to be a filmmaker, and then you decided it wasn't for you. It was a lot of trouble.
Not at all. My parents made me get a real job when I graduated college, so that was gone. I had the time. My old man was like, "All right, time to get a gig. Time to start paying rent." I go, "What? No, I'm gonna become a film guy." Yeah, okay, cool. Well, in the meantime, you have to get a job so you can pay your rent, because you graduate college, you paid for your college. Now it's time to go out and put that degree to use. So I was deviated from my track. So, and then I got stuck in the corporate America world. And then when I was 32, that's when I decided to do stand up. So, and that was
okay. I could have sworn in one episode you said it's like it wasn't for me or something like that. It was.
I mean, that's the story. It's just my old man kind of said, "Okay, it's time to go find a real job." I wanted to do it, but I never really had the chance to because
Had the
again,
had the dominoes fallen in a different way, what kind of movies would you had actually love to make? Had you had some resources?
great question. I didn't really write a script, which was probably the biggest, the biggest,
Well, no, I'll give you credit.
the first.
You created 2 web series and your own podcast, so that's entertainment enough.
Yeah, but not a film though. But yeah, no, that's what we were talking about was films. What did I create? No, I would probably say it would have been a shitty knockoff of a Tarantino idea because that's why I was a fat. I mean, he was out. I saw Pulp Fiction 3
I could
times in
see
the
you
theater.
being a cool guy taking down Hitman or something like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, no, so something like Tarantino-esque, but nowhere near as good. I mean, the man's characters and dialogue are second to none. I mean, let's call it as we see it.
It's
I don't
dynamite.
know. Yeah, I had some film treatments I did, but they were just action films with snarky comments. So I mean, probably
like
Ryan
snarkiness.
Reynolds, probably Ryan Reynolds long before he was Ryan Reynolds stuff. I don't know. And
There's still
me as a
time.
start. Yeah,
Still
no. Yeah, it's just even now when you see all the hard work again being with the podcast, you see all the hard work that goes into this shit. And it's and some people when I asked them to do the podcast, Gutting the Sacred Cow we're talking about.
Yes.
It's people go, I don't feel comfortable shitting on a film, even if I hate it, because I know how hard it is to get a film made, which I completely understand. It is a fucking lottery ticket to get shit made. It's a lot of luck, right place, right time. And it's the case. And again,
half the actors, their IMDb credits are for a role, which is basically a featured extra role, but they were still paid $2 million for it.
Right? It's so true. But it's such a hard thing to do. And again, but now with everything, people are making their own shit on their own with their phones and such, and getting their own equipment to do stuff and throwing it out there, which is cool.
Cutting basically half the production costs. It's like, hey, yeah,
half, about 80%. More than that, maybe.
Even better. Just got to hire some gaffer and sound guys and tell the actors, believe in me.
Bingo.
So how did this was just so hysterical. And just looking at some of your earlier stand-up, how you refer to yourself as a mixture of Zach Morris, Ivan Drago.
Yeah. If I get a short haircut,
and Neil Patrick Harris.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard all that. My favorite though, I was in a club in the Borgata, Atlantic City, and one drunk girl. When someone's staring at you from afar for a while, and she finally has the balls to come up to me and say, "Hey," and I go, "Hi," and she goes, "I got to ask you." She goes, "Are you gay?" I go, "What?" She goes, "You're too hot. You're too hot to be straight." I go, "No, I'm not gay." And she's like, "All right, well." My friend also wanted to have me tell you that you look like Bradley Cooper. I go, I look more like Winnie Cooper. You can cut that bullshit out right now.
What the fuck? I mean,
yeah, Winnie
not
Cooper.
even brunette. No.
No.
Well, was she hot?
No, not at all.
So this was already a big turn off. This ugly
even,
gal
is
telling you all this awful shit. That's already a turn off. And you're like, this is double wrong sauce.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you know what? I'll give you credit for coming up, which I did. I said I'll give you the credit for the balls. I just wish the story had a happier ending, where she was at least a 7.
Oh man. So when did the creative bug just really strike you, where you're just like, I want to do some streaming show, people are goofing around on YouTube making some money on the side, I really just want to get my hysterical friends together. You came up with fantasy football jibber jabber and comics watching comics.
Yeah. It's when you get into comedy, you think, I mean, I don't know, I thought when you get in, it's like, I'm going to be a stand-up and that is it. When you get into it, you're like, all right, you're gonna have more opportunities to do other things that are presented to you if people like you and they see you in a different role doing stuff. And I fell into voiceover like that. I never in a million years would have been thinking to do voiceover if it wasn't for about 4 or 5 people like, you need to do voiceover. And then one night at the train stop, Lower East Side, Essex Street, Tomas Delgado, shout out, said, "Hey man, you ever think about doing voiceover?" And I said, "No," but we did the 5th person to tell me that in the last, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. Dude goes, you have to. And he gave me the name of his guy, his guy who set him up with the audition and all this and creating the reel. So a lot of this shit just comes to ideas happen. And you're just like, I was sitting with comics, watching comics. I was sitting at a mic and I was texting this other comic I knew, and she and I were just being assholes. We were just ripping the people apart on stage. It was a shitty mic. There was nothing. Everyone sucked. I sucked. She sucked. Everyone sucked. It was just a day of suckiness, And then we were just texting back and forth. I said, well, this is kind of funny, like watching comics and just busting balls and stuff. But you can't have a show that just does that because it's shitty and no one's going to want to watch it. And you're never going to get people on the show because you're just being a dick. So I said, well, at the time, Last Comic Standing was on. I said, Last Comic Standing sucks because I get it. It's on network TV. You can't curse. You can't be dirty. You can't kind of get in any kind of different
too restricted
blue category. Exactly. Said, what if? And I said, but a lot of these comics, people are like, oh, they're brand new. No, they're not. These fuckers are at least, or some of them are like, I know a bunch of them. I'm friends with some of them who went on that show who were like 5-10 years
Even
in the
host
game.
is a comedian who's been on for like 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a newbie. So I was like, what about taking like intermediate comics, kind of showing the real voyage of what it's like going through the scene as opposed to like being like, I'm a kind of a feature. I travel around. I get paid work, but I'm making $35,000 a year full time doing comedy. Where it's just like, all right, let's show that with a twist, with the with the videos and the getting the promoting them, and offering advice. Again, that's why I had the
round table,
the panelists exactly sit down and go, because obviously I couldn't sit there on my high throne and go, thou sucketh or thou fucking kick ass. Who wants to listen to me? That's why you have these people. I had the panelists on there who were experienced and way more successful than I was, whatever you want to call it.
No, it was a cool concept.
Thanks. It's going to come back in the metaverse, so stay tuned.
Even better.
Yeah.
So, who spotted you at your various New York and New Jersey comedy clubs and said, hey, time to come on Sirius XM and help me out?
Sirius XM. I knew a lot of the producers who work for Sirius XM are comics. So
they did touring and reached out.
Well, no. That's their day job. They just know, like they're comics and they're producers. So, or you would have friends so let me go back to that. I'm jumping around this fucking ADD. So yeah, they would see me go, hey man, you're funny. Like you want to come on, Sirius and talk shit about whatever. Yeah, of course I do. Or they would say, hey, you should go on this show, or ask your friends who are on that show, hey, what's the email of the producer? Who should I reach out to? No better validation than when a friend reaches out and says, hey, copies in an email and says, hey, I think this is Kevin. He'd be great on your fucking show. I did that with Fuel Sang Show for a while. I did that I still do that, and I'm going to be on tomorrow again with Bill Schultz on the Compound Media Network. I do the morning show every month.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Joanne Nosachinski are kind enough to have me on damn near every month, pretty much every month. And you hear them all the time in the podcast, and they're great.
Yeah.
I got that because another comic I knew, her friend is a comedy adjacent. And she said, you got to go on. You're fucking funny. You're quick, this and that. And she, gave me a what's up email to Bill, and here we are. So a lot of that's just you meet people who you run into, like, hey, you should do this. And I do the same. If I go, man, you should go on this show because blah, blah, blah. Or, I think you give this person a reach. You'd be good for this. And, that's how your friends work.
Totally. Have you ever thought of forming a improv comedy troupe, or did you just not like the rules of that?
Nope.
Okay. I figured it'd be
not an improv fan. I think it's boring.
Okay. No, okay.
No, my thing
got a different comedy style. So.
And for those of you who are listening, like, what's wrong with this asshole? It's like a joke. The comedy and comedians and improv have this like Hatfield McCoy relationship with each other. Comedians don't take improv people seriously because they have their own like they go on and like say, give me a place, and like a bologna sandwich in the inside, and it's fun to watch them dig out and give them the hard suggestions. With comedy, you live and die by your own sword. If you go on there, you kick ass, like you own that spotlight. If you're in an improv group, you can suck, but the guy or the girl who's sitting next to you or standing next to you, or there's one or two people who are super strong in that group, can carry the whole group. Comedy's just like, dude, these are all just generic outlines you're following based on suggestions that you manipulate your audience to kind of get you to say comedy. It's like, this is what I am and what I have to say with funny. That's why we're
hot take.
Again, that's why I would, yeah, the hottest of the hot takes. No, so yeah, so I mean, I jest, but I'm not an improv guy at all. Not my cup of tea. But for those of you out there, fucking knock it out, and hopefully you guys make SNL.
Probably. They might. So yeah, you've been talking for a bit about doing a movie themed game show called Who Said That? Is that still on the horizon?
Oof, look at you doing your research. Yes.
I don't want to ask you crappy inside the actor studio.
What's your favorite word?
What will you say?
What's your favorite? What's the one? Kiefer Sutherland had the best answers. It was I'm gonna Google this. So they asked, they you know what I'm talking about, right? I'll explain for the audience.
Inside the actor studio, yeah.
So they ask him what his favorite words are, and it's he goes his least favorite word is the N word, which is hilarious. Mm-hmm. And his favorite one was Latin. He said Latin. What was the word he said? Damn it.
I think I remember it too, and it was just one of those. It was a turn-off word that he just felt was just lazy or just
gravitas. That's it.
Gravitas, yeah.
Latin gravitas, and your least favorite word. And he says the N. Well, he literally says the N word.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is? What a spectrum to just cross.
I was always disappointed when they had Sam Jackson on and they did not ask his favorite curse word. I wonder if that was a request.
Stop it. You knew his motherfucker. Why even have to
but I want to, well, who knows? It could be shit. It could be.
Right.
I know it's unlikely, but it would still. Sometimes you just want to hear it, you know. But
yeah. So to answer your question, I'm trying to pitch that. I've got a couple irons in the fire. I don't know.
They've done parodies of it before. Like I think Zach Galifianakis did Inside the Porn Actor Studio, which was just a live thing event.
Oh really? Yeah. So for the game show, like I said, we have a few irons in the fire. But if anyone's interested in doing it, let me know, and I will talk to you about it and make you sign an NDA.
Nice. I'd be up for it.
Okay.
But what's been some of your favorite collaborations? You know, obviously, you know, Compound Media, and then, you know, Gutting the Sacred Cow. You've been able to work with just about everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's me. And Kevin Israel helped out a lot too, finding guests, and he still is, even though he took off from the podcast. He's still emailing. He goes, "Hey, this would be a great guy," or "This would be a great gal."
That's good.
We're having the podcast, so we're doing that. We're just trying to get, you know, even bigger names than we had. No disrespect to those people we've had on. We're just trying to get more names out there, so that bigger names, so we can have a bigger audience.
That's the thing. Just like how you want to go to a different hall that you haven't toured yet, you want a new challenge to keep it fresh.
Yeah, so it's been fun. I mean, I've made some friends, like Don Jameson's one of the nicest fucking people. Mike Price, who writes for The Simpsons and created Evis for Family, both those guys are absolute peaches. I just had Noodles on from The Offspring. I know him. Actually, funny story. I was doing stand up. He walks in, they're in town for a gig, and I had tickets. I was going to see them. And he goes, "Hey, man." I go, "You're funny." I go, "Dude, holy shit." Like, he goes,
"Pretty fly for a movie guy."
Oh, stop it. And then, this is years ago. And he said, I said, "Dude, I'm going to see you guys like in 2 days." Like, "Yeah, you got tickets?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to go to VIP?" I go, "Fuck yeah." He goes, "Yeah, give me your number." Like, I'm never going to hear from him. Next day, "Dude, you're on the list." I get a text from him. I go, "No awesome. Shit." I show up. There are 2 tickets in will call and VIP passes. And we hung out, and I hung out, had drinks. He was getting us drinks from the back, from the coolers. He's like, "Dude, what do you want?" I can get you whatever you need. I go, "Whatever, dude, whatever's fine." The bassist, Todd, his girlfriend was a playmate. She was fetching us drinks too. And I was like, "This is great. A playmate's fetching us drinks." And I've kept a friendship up with them. Every time they come around, I text them like, "Hey man, like, I bought tickets. Don't have to give me free tickets. I bought tickets. I'm more than happy. I just want to come and hang out with you." And they came back around in June. Or is it May? Whatever. And yeah, I got you. Go right to VIP. I'm there. I hung out and we bullshit. He's so magnanimous. He had like a few groups of people he had come in there, and, you know, big hug every time I see him. "Hey, what's up?" And my friend, and always they talk. He talks for a while. Then he'll go back around the room. He'll come back. "Hey, did you get more beers?" "Here's some more beers for you guys." And then I asked him to be on the podcast. He's like, "That's a cool idea." He goes, "I like a lot of films." And he says, "You know what I hate? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I go, done. No one's done it.
Yes.
That qualifies. And I go, whenever you're done, whenever you're breaking touring, I'm in. And a month later, or a month or so later, he came on.
That's great. I did see so many other guests. I was like, yeah, how did that happen? How did this one guy was on only?
Which one? Oh,
my-
some of the gals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. There's another gal. We just taped Gremlins with her last week. She's a sweetheart too. Her name is Marcella.
Yep.
And she'll be on in a couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for her. But yeah, a lot of them are like Sarah J is another one. A lot of people love having her on, and Kendra Cunningham. So it's we'd like to have a different slice of the different demographics on this podcast.
Very well deserved. So now again, well, what was also kind of just when you come up with like movie trivia, just what trivia just turns you on and what just turns you off? Like, been done, not really all that fascinating, getting too personal, getting too technical for something.
It's just gonna grab me. I mean, if you've heard of the podcast, but for your guests, we always do 5 fun facts at the top, movie quotes from the film.
Right.
We also do of course the guest tries to come on. I'm going to pitch it right now. Fuck it. The guest comes on, picks a film that they find overrated or hate. We never tell the guest what to pick, ever, ever, ever. The guest goes, I hate Die Hard. Don Jameson, perfect case. I hate Die Hard. It fucking sucks. Great. He'll come on. Yes. Again, we'll open with quotes, 5 fun facts.
Storm, Delvin Cox,
the notes,
everybody.
Right, yeah. And then we do the Amazon 5-star and 1-star reviews. Amazon 1-star reviews are my favorite. And the critics 5 and 1-star reviews. But the guest's goal is to try to convince us to see their argument why the movie sucks. And Don came on, and everyone else goes, here's why this movie sucks or is overrated. That's their goal. Now, do they make a difference with us? Sometimes they do. Sometimes you say, you got me to drop my score a point or a half point. Good on you. Sometimes you say, the movie just hung itself. It sucked. Sometimes you say,
it was average, but it's not awful like you're describing it.
I'm not going to die in this hill. Or, hey, you're an asshole. This film's fucking fantastic. So that's happened. And then
I couldn't believe they tried to take down Goodfellas. It was like,
no one is trying to take down Goodfellas. You didn't do your research.
I thought they did.
Nope.
There was one Scorsese movie they did.
Taxi Driver.
That's okay.
Yeah. One guy did Godfather 2. That's not Scorsese, but yeah, Goodfellas was on the list of film. Is still on the list of films. I think that we call it the bulletproof list. Films we think that no one's gonna ever try and attack. There are a lot of ones that have been on there, like Die Hard, The Matrix. I thought would never. Dark Knight, I never thought would face scrutiny. Avengers Endgame was also attacked. Star Wars,
the Black Panther
Jedi
one was really hysterical, especially when you're reading out the reviews. You're like, you guys and your political agendas.
never thought that was that. It was good. It's good. It's all right. It's fine, as I say. That movie is fine. But for people to come out and say it's the best Marvel movie ever, I laugh at you, because 3 months later when I saw Endgame in the theater, I'm walking out going, good luck topping that shit.
Oh, that was fun. I saw that twice.
Yeah. But it was Black Panther. Again, it's good because it's the cultural significance. People want to put on a pedestal, make it the best film of all time. No, I'm not having that. No. Good, very good, enjoyable, but not the best. That's silly. I get it. It's opinion, but don't tell me it's the best when I can give you 10 other Marvel films that are better. So yeah, the guest picks a film. You asked about trivia. My favorite part, whenever I see this, I always love who was about to play this character and then bowed out, got fired, whatever. I love those, because then you try and picture that person in that role. Sometimes you're like, holy shit, that would have been a mess. Or wow. Yeah. For example, the Truman Show is out as it's currently, you hear this now. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, I mean, Dennis Hopper was supposed to play the role of Ed Harris. He got fired, and then Dennis Hopper went off to star in Ed TV, the same damn fucking movie that came out a few months later. Hilarious. I got a kick out of that.
I mean,
and if you see and again, listen to the Apocalypse Now episode, you hear all the guys who were considered for the Martin Sheen role are going to knock you on your ass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and investors were even worse back then. This is like, just see one name. You're like, I can make a movie off of him. It doesn't matter that he's totally not athletic or doesn't have charisma. Put him in the movie.
Yeah, especially those sports movies with you can see the guy can't throw like Keanu Reeves. Played two movies where he played a football quarterback, couldn't throw for shit. But okay, whatever. He's Neo. He's John Wick. I love him, and of course Johnny Utah, FBI agent. I love Point
Johnny
Break.
Utah. What kind of a fucking name is Johnny Utah?
The best.
It's a great name. I'm just wondering, is there? I would be in awe of anyone. It reminds me of when my grandmother, when she was teaching, she actually knew a kid who was named Luke, middle name Sky, last name Walker.
And was this kid old enough for the parents to be an asshole, or was this like before the fact?
He was old enough, but he didn't know what the reference, so everyone would stop him. Oh yeah, like Star Wars. Star Wars. So
that parent. Those parents are assholes. I mean, unless they're uber Star Wars fans. I got one better. There was a kid in my high school class named Rod Stewart.
Wow.
He also had kind of a third nipple. I used to swim in the swim team, and he was on the swim team too. Fun fact.
He had Marky Mark abs. Gotcha. Okay. So football is your absolute favorite sport?
No, it's not. It's really baseball and football are tied. I mean, I watch way more football than baseball because baseball it's 162 games. But I grew up playing baseball and watching it. It's my favorite. I'm a huge Yankees fan. The playoffs are right now. It's 0-0 in case you're wondering in the bottom of the second. But football, the fantasy sports are my fantasy football blows away fantasy baseball. It's not even close. I love betting on football. I'm very good at betting football. What's my betting record this year? I'm glad you asked. 42, 33, and 4. So we're making money. But
Hustle,
yeah, I love
baby.
it.
Hustle.
Yeah, well, all these years. Listen, it took a while to figure out. Oh wait, you shouldn't be taking all heavy favorites all the time. Don't take road favorites who are laying a touchdown or more. I got my clock clean in college when I first started to bet, and
the cake was a lie.
Oh yeah. Well, then I learned, and it took me a while to start figuring out. Oh, okay, you start betting numbers, not teams, and trends, and so on and so forth, and how to analyze and all that. So that's why I've gotten better at gambling.
Did you play it in high school or college?
Baseball. I played in high school, not football. I was too fucking skinny. Thanks, mom and dad. My metabolism was too fast. Teachers thought my parents were not feeding me, but my metabolism was like at a Coke fiend. It was great. I wish it's still. I wish
before they even figured out half the fitness routines didn't actually work back then.
No, again, and it's funny. I did some stuff, but I was just rail thin. All of us were rail thin. So
hey, good on you. One less thing to worry about.
I wish I had that metabolism still. How can I tell you? But those days are over.
Hey, it was a good run. Any live sports or comedy events you plan on going to?
Yeah, I'll be at the Yankee game on Thursday night if it doesn't rain, and then the Giants game on Sunday. My buddy has season tickets for the Giants, but yeah, I got Yankee playoff tickets for game 2 of the first round, and then home game 1 of the second round. So yeah, and then I guess I've been to 2 Giant games already, and this will be the third. Yeah, and I got a gig in a couple of weeks with Kevin Israel, my old co-host. Characters in Sloatsburg, New York. That's the 28th of October, whatever that last Friday of the month is. That's when I'll be there.
Okay, very nice.
He's featuring, and I'll be headlining. So it'll be a nice little Gutting the Sacred Cow reunion.
Very cool. Any comedians who you've actually witnessed there before they were actually semi-famous?
Tons. Nate Bargatze. I watched him come up.
Nice.
He couldn't be nicer. When I was like maybe a year out. He headlined a bar show we're at, and he just sat and talked and offered advice, and he couldn't have been nicer. I always root for him. Chris DiStefano hosted the first mic I went to. He was on his way to becoming a physical therapist. He was going through school and doing comedy, and the guy said PT degree went to shit because he's killing it. I mean, my God, we had a lot of guys who are just Jimmy Failla on season 1 of Watching Comics. He's now a huge Fox News pundit. Doing that, I mean, Christ, there are so many people I know that are just holy shit. Look at them. We were doing mics together in the Lower East Side, and now they're doing this, and I'm here.
There you go. Have you ever thought of being a cool Fox Sports or ESPN commentator?
Yes. Can you give me a job and a contact name, please?
If invite them to your comedy show. It's like, am I good enough now?
Well, that's what Jibber Jabber is. And that fantasy football Jibber Jabber for those of you.
Your unofficial pitch.
Yeah, because Cam doesn't know how to set up a fucking guest. I'm kidding. No, fantasy football Jibber Jabber is a show where I and two other comic friends of mine, Nick Whitmer and Matt Lejeski, where we sit down and we marry the two things that never are on the same show, and that's fantasy football advice and NFL betting advice. It's always one, never both. We do both with humor. I used to do it with my buddy Gerard Heron. He moved down to Florida. He's doing awesome down there. And so we're doing that now in the metaverse in the Joke Community Comedy Club. So when you're done watching VR porn, put the lotion and tissues down and then check us out over the weekend. And we're going to tell you who you should start and sit in fantasy, as well as put your hard-earned ducats on in the NFL season.
How did the Roger Goodell NFL commission come along? Goodell's, yeah. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name alive. How did that sketch come around?
Oh my God! You did a deep dive. JL Colvin. He's kind of, I'm gonna say friends. He's a nice guy. We don't hang out. That's why I say
he's a nice guy, but I don't fucking know him. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we hang out. No. He's done. I've done a few of his sketches for at least one, maybe two. I know the one you're referring to is when the Ray Rice punching video came out, and I played Goodell, and I was stellar.
It's just well worded. Yeah. You have like 5 different beats, and it gives the audience enough time to just kind of soak it in and say, what the fuck is gonna say?
Well, he speaks monotonous, so that's exactly what I was going for.
Right.
So so JL, he's been on Gutting the Sacred Cow twice. He did Lawrence of Arabia, and his first one, his first film, I forgot what it was. Was it 2001? Yes. He takes joy in making us watch these insufferably long, drawn-out films. And as a matter of fact, we're taping with him next week again. He has chosen to do Nightmare on Elm Street, only a scant 95 minutes ago. And he made a point of, I'm not going to make you watch like a 3-hour epic film again like I have. Thank Christ. So yeah, J.O.'s a cool dude. He's starting to pick up traction, especially when he had the Trump impressions he did on the pandemic.
He did do that. Yeah,
he was doing impressions on Stern, and all these celebrities were retweeting him, and he's getting hundreds of thousands of views. I mean, he's killing it.
Nice.
And he's a good dude too. I'm very happy that we're friendly.
For sure. What is a 3-hour movie that didn't bore the shit out of you?
JFK is fantastic. I love it. Mike Price did that on our podcast on Gutting the Sacred Cow. Mike Price, I love Mike Price. Mike Price makes it a point to say to find something, a film that's based on true events, and of course they always fuck it up.
Right, because there's always going to be a dramatization or a blending of 3 characters into one.
Oh, he hated JFK because he thinks that Lee Harvey Oswald did it himself, and that's a whole other story. He also did Argo because Argo is complete bullshit.
Yeah, and especially that where they fight all the guards at the airport never happened.
Yeah, all that drama didn't happen. His first film he did was, and this is the one film people go, how did you know you had something that was good? Because he says, I think Batman Returns sucks. And Kevin Israel, I go, what? Batman Returns is great. We watch it again. We're like, oh boy. That didn't hold up. And then a couple of weeks ago, he was back on doing The Sandlot, where Don Jameson sat in. Mike did not like The Sandlot. Did not like The Sandlot. So Mike's awesome. Again, another, like I said before, it couldn't be nicer.
I'm waiting for the LA Confidential episode.
That's on the bulletproof list. I thought that's one that would never get touched, because that film, I'll tip my hat. I think that, Shawshank, Casino, and of course Goodfellas, Empire, Godfather 1. I think all of those, no one's gonna try and
someone will do Shawshank.
Bring it on. Bring it the fuck on. I dare you.
Accepted. So how did the TV commercials come about? Who spotted you for that and said, "Hey, I need you. I got this premise. I got this gimmick."
What TV commercials are you talking about?
Oh, you've had several ones, especially American Express, but
the voiceover, voiceover. When you say that,
but you also had Nathan's, which is like some local like Bizarria or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, that's from my friend Anne-Marie Castillo, who just moved back to New Mexico. She texted a bunch of her comic friends, and she got in with this casting director. She goes, hey, do you want to be in a commercial for Nathan's? I go, okay. And actually the construction worker and the guy, that's Gerard Heron, my old fantasy football jibber jabber co-host. And they just said, here are the beats. Go be funny. Like, here's what we want you to say in Nathan's. Just go have fun and say shit and whatever and do it up. So I was at work. So I shot, here I am wearing my suit, and Heron's just rolls. He's a construction worker. He rolls them wearing jeans and work boots. And that's how again, a lot of these things, comics, they throw it out there like, oh, you'd be good for this or that a lot of that's how that happens. The voiceover stuff, like you have an agent where they'll send you on auditions, and I got American Express. I had one, this is a funny one. I did try it
aired or
no. Most of them are on the internet, or they're what's called internal, where a company will hire an outsource, like another company to come up. They say, this is what we want to do with this upcoming product. Mm-hmm. This is going to be our and they're going to have slides and a VO for the people, for the higher ups of the company. This is what we're thinking of doing. And this would give like a very loose, it's a sizzle reel is what it is.
Right, a concept.
And then whenever so that way they have an idea instead of really trying to go from ground zero and figuring out. So I've done internal demos, like I said, Amex and other banks and shit. So I did Trident Gum, and that had 10 million hits on YouTube. So it's not on anymore because it's usage rights. They pay me the right to use it for 1 year. They can re-up if they want to, but they have to pay me again, which is awesome, which they have it.
Oh, yeah.
So they have it on usage. So, but the funny part was I taped Trident Gum one day. It has 10 million hits. It's cool. The very next day, I get a call. Hey man, can you do a voiceover like today for us? I go, it's going to cost you, man. Cause
last minute. What the hell?
Yeah. And they're like, all right, yeah, sure. Like, pretty much like here. And then I told them a number. I go, yeah, done. I go, well, fuck, I should ask for more. Whatever. It's still a nice payday. But it was for The Sinky. And you can YouTube this. It's still out there. It's called The Sinky. The Sinky
is that mention there. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. The Sinky, for those of you who don't want to YouTube it, but it's fucking great. It's a plastic container you stick your dick in, and you wash it. You pour water in there and soap, and you wash your dick. And I narrate it, and it's hilarious. So one day I'm doing Trident Gum with all these hits.
This air on Spike TV,
and then I have The Sinky. So highest of the highs and not so highest of the highs.
It's fun to do lowbrow stuff once in a while.
Whatever pays, baby. I'll do a play-by-play of a kidnapping if the money's there.
Jeez. Who is your single favorite and least favorite actor?
I don't give a shit. Tom Cruise makes the best movies. Fight me. There's no better action star in the last 25 years than Tom Cruise. I'll wait for rebuttal if you want me to, but you're going to get smoked. Tom Cruise has made the last 3 or 4 Mission Impossible films.
Stallone.
What's that? Not even close. Not even close. 300 is an overrated film. What else you got? Olympus Has Fallen? Stop it. Mission Impossible, the last 3 are landmark. They need to be taught in film special effects and story. Those are the perfect action films.
They're good because of the stunts, but it's not because of him.
He's producer on it, and he's all. You don't think it's because of him?
It's because of the Scientology church.
No, it has nothing. That's not even.
Yes, it does. That's where he gets all his money.
If this is, really, you don't think that he has first of all his own production company, and he's made. If he's not made $1 billion yet, I don't know what's wrong. Especially with Maverick.
You need to see the Going Clear documentary. That's where everyone gets all their money, is from that bogus gangster. Okay.
You don't think Paramount Studios says, Tom, you made us so much money. Here's $500 million. Make us Top Gun Maverick.
That's an addition. He already has millions.
Okay. No. So Tom Cruise, I would say, is my favorite one. Least favorite. Any of the Friends actors, because they all suck. That show's terrible. I don't know.
Jeez. They're not even movie stars.
No. All right. No, that's here's your answer. Seth Rogen. I am sick of his horse shit. It's the same fucking role for him.
He inspired Jimmy Fallon to just laugh at his own joke before.
Let me finish here. Let me get this out. Here's what the story is. Seth Rogen started out great. I never watched Freaks. I think I tried and didn't like it. Okay, whatever. 40-year-old version. He comes out like gangbusters. Killed. That guy's fucking good. Then he comes out, does Knocked Up. All right. Then he does all these other films. What's the constant thread in a Seth Rogen film?
There isn't.
Yeah, wrong. He's always a schlubby Jewish nerd. That's his thing. It's always the awkward Jewish guy, and that's his role. Like, that's his thing. It's all he does. And like, we're done. Like, I'm sick of it now. But then again, that's coming from the same guy. He goes, you know what? We need another American Pie film so I can get more Philip Stifler, because that guy always. Well, the first two American Pie films, the last two, not so much. But it's Seth Rogen. I just don't like any of his recent stuff at all. So I'll just say
he wants to be part of an ensemble. So can you even call it a Rogen film? You know.
No, because you know why? I mean, he made films like The Green Hornet, which tanked. Ooh. Pineapple Express. I never saw it. Pineapple Express. That's with Franco. I didn't like. We did on the podcast. Sarah J did that film.
Yeah,
never liked that. It's just the same shit with him over and over, and it got old fast. Never. Yeah, it's the same thing for me. So I'll say him. I'm sure there are other ones that are worse, but he just popped in my head first. So
no, that's good. Go with your gut.
Stream of conscious here.
Very cool. What filmmaker do you pretty much own most of their library?
I own every single Tarantino film.
Okay, nice.
And a lot of Scorsese stuff. Jesus, Kevin Smith. I own. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Do
you want to be a gangster on screen if you existed in a movie world?
No, because that's not me.
No, I just mean in a movie world. Like,
no, I don't know. Because I don't think
or
Jedi would be great. No, and because I'm not a tough guy like that. I'm the guy.
Pay to see you in an action movie. I could see you.
You would pay, but I don't think I'm. Besides my parents and my wife.
The world is wrong. Let's just say that.
Fair. The world is wrong for many things, but for that, I don't know. No, I mean gangster. No, I'm the wisecracking guy. The I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. But that's I don't know, gangster. It's a bit much. I listen. I take the paycheck. I'm not stupid, but anything short of Shakespeare and tap dancing, I'll definitely do.
Well, that's quite a challenge. So you've done also private comedy events. What's been without naming names, what's been the weirdest private comedy event that you've been to where you're just like, I don't know, I can't fill this crowd. They're just not giving me any feedback of what they're looking for.
Easy answer. We did a Christmas party at a house that had more Christian knickknacks than Vatican City, and I've been to Vatican City. This house was adorned in Christmas stuff.
They didn't give you notes.
And Jesus stuff. No, they said keep it PG-13, but of course that's a license. Like, you just stick your toe in the water and you say fuck a few times to see what they think.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was like a family, like I don't know, 15, 20 people, and like, why don't you hang out with us afterward? Like, no, we're out of here. I'll tell you what the most fun were. I did 2 Sweet 16 birthdays. They were a goddamn joy. You'd think, oh, this guy with the potty mouth, how is he going to do well with that? Easy. You don't curse, and you flirt with the mom the entire time, and that's how you win favor. And you bust the dad's balls a little bit, because the mom holds the envelope, and the mom will say, how much did you tip him? You tip him more. That happened to me both times. And
hustling.
It's the flirting with the mom is, if anyone is listening, Sweet 16s, flirt with the mom. That is by far and away the way to make more money.
Awesome. Any other upcoming ones of that like that you're tempted to do?
No, I haven't. I kind of had there's a website you belong to, and I said during the pandemic I got one's it because it's like, why bother? No one's doing personal gigs now. This is a waste. And I'm too busy with the podcast trying to really get all the behind the scenes, because I'm the army of one. I'm doing all this shit by myself.
Yeah. So where do you find time for this?
Yeah, you're right. That's what.
Yeah.
No, that's it. It's I haven't done as much stand up because I can see the results of me doing the podcast. With stand up, you're like, oh, okay, I did all right, or I killed, or I bombed, and then nothing. No, not even that. I did all right, or I bombed, or whatever. But there's no, you don't see yourself graduating unless you're getting more and more. But again, that life, after a while, I go, this isn't for me. I don't want to traverse the country, in shitty motels making $100 a show. I work at corporate America. I make a good living, and I'll never give that up unless when the show sells or the podcast sells, and then I can go, fuck this. I'm out of corporate America if I'm making, 2/3 or 3/4 of what I'm making here now. If I do that with the podcast, I am gone.
Have you been able to graduate in the company of corporate America?
I'm a field rep, and that's all I ever want to be. I have no grand desires to become marketing or a boss or a manager upper level. Nope.
All
I want to
right.
be left, and this is the way I can be left alone. I have my own hours. I do what I want.
I
I
just
don't think
figured the boss can be left alone unless
no,
something
because
else fucks up.
because you have to manage other people, and I don't want to manage other people. I want to manage me. I don't want
Fair
to.
enough.
Yeah, because then you have
So,
these other needy people I don't want to bother with. Like, no, I don't have time for you. I'm too busy with myself. I'm too self-absorbed. My wife and my kid get the time, but I don't have time for corporate America people. That's it. I do my
no,
job. I
that's
talk to my
fine.
boss, and that's it. Yeah, that's my drill.
Uh, have you ever told jokes at various work meetings just to lighten the mood? And
Yeah, my boss, my last job,
because it's a
she
great
knew the
gift.
drill. Yeah, thank you. She knew the drill, and at a national meeting, it's funny in Vegas, they instead of us seeing like Cirque du Soleil or whatever, they said we're gonna do a talent show. My boss goes, "Do you want to do jokes?" I go, "No." I go, she goes, "Why not? You'd be great." I go, "First of all, there's nothing to gain in it for me because if I say something that's even just fucking cookie cutter vanilla shit boring, someone's gonna get a bug up their asshole." And this company is was based in it. Well, they are. I'm not there anymore. In Salt Lake City, and they're not gonna. They don't want to. They may get offended, whatever. And I know me, and I was right because some other guy went up there and did impressions, and they started losing interest in like the first like 3 minutes.
Can't
Now
take a
me,
joke.
not even that. They were bored and they were talking with everybody because it was a big hangout. I go, that's me. I'm yelling at people, telling them to shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna because that's just my involuntary reaction is to get them back in focus. So there's nothing for me to gain, everything for me to lose. And I told that she goes, all right, I gotcha, and that was it. So no, I don't have to do formal stand up at a meeting. I just crack jokes in meetings. I'll lead a session, and that's it. That's the extent.
No, that's cool. Um, and final question before we go:
Sure.
have you ever been tempted to do a live comedy roast? Let's say you can't do New York Friars Club, and Comedy Central is gonna just hire
Yeah,
people who aren't comedians. Who's
I've done several roasts. I've done
really
yeah,
nice?
like but low key stuff. Friends roasts. The aforementioned Amory Castillo, she did a sports roast where you pick your sports team and then she puts you in a bracket and you roast other teams. I should have told her I would love to have gone against the Philadelphia Eagles first because I hate that city more than the terrorist attackers of the terrorist attackers of 9/11. That's how much I hate that town. But she put me up against a guy who does Comedy Fight Club. Like it's a show on YouTube. Like he's great.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
We went to double overtime because he's a Cowboy fan and this is what he does. And I hung tight with him, but I lost in double overtime. So but he was like, dude, that was great. You're great. He's like, come on, I've done it a couple of times. The problem with roasts they do them so frequently. You have to write new shit all the time, and then you throw that material away because you can't use it ever again.
Right.
And
It doesn't apply to every celeb.
Right. Or not even celeb, just people, like friends. Like you roast your friends on your birthday and shit.
I think you should roast Steven Seagal.
Yeah, life has already. And he's not one to take a joke. So
that's true. I'm not saying he'll do it, but I mean, hell, you could have a freaking beanbag chair with a wig on it and just have it stand in for him.
I mean, you need to have the person there to really have the full effect.
I know.
All right, I admire your tenacity to try and make a project happen.
I get that it's unlikely to. It's just I'm sick of being on shitty projects that go nowhere. So just throwing ideas out.
Right on.
I lied. One last one. Dream voice role, since you're now doing a lot of voiceovers.
One that has a reoccurring revenue and I'm a consistent character like Flo.
Bingo. Get this man on a video game.
Or whatever. Not even that. Like make me the spokesman like Flo or I know actually the girl who does Jan from Toyota, I know her sister. She's a comic. And that's
really?
Fuck you money. Yeah. The Verizon Can You Hear Me Now guy. I mean, he was rolling in dough at Verizon. And then he goes to Sprint and doubles down. That's the one I want.
He conquered the cell phone market.
yeah. John Hamm doing Mercedes. I mean, that's a fucking money printing press.
Larry even did a few commercials. Sam Elliott does them. Is like, man.
Sam Elliott, Trace Adkins, those fucking guys. All they do is just go to the bank every week and just hand them a bunch of checks to fucking cash. Good on them. I don't have the distinctive voice like theirs, that's for sure.
That's
if I did.
You got a pretty cool voice.
Thank you, but it's not distinctive. Like, it's not like, even if you didn't know who Sam Elliott was, you're like, oh, that's the guy who sounds like he has rocks in his throat.
At least we would trust you, because we know we're getting a blunt, honest Kevin.
Would you really trust me? That's cool. I'll take that. I appreciate the compliment.
Even if you're bullshitting, we know what you're selling. That's what we want at the end of the day, instead of Shakespearean actor. Is like, no, fuck that.
No. You're getting a cerebral fraternity guy from Jersey. That's what we're going to get.
Very awesome. Okay, so any other plugs you want to do before we take off? If not,
I want your fans to listen to the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast. I'm going to make this
You've
so
already
easy.
stolen them. You know it.
I don't know that.
Look at the Podbean stats.
I'm right. Well, send me those. I'm curious. Listen, here's this pitch, guys. Give me 30 seconds and do not interrupt me. I got to get this out. The Gutting the Sacred Cow is the most unique movie podcast you'll ever hear. Why? Because we invite guests to pick a film they find overrated or hate and try and convince us to see their argument. But here's the twist. The film must meet one of these criteria: widely beloved, critically acclaimed, or financial success. So you can't come on and say, well, Friday the 13th Part 8, it's a real piece of shit. Yeah, we know that. So the goal is to have a film that we're giving a platform to people with unpopular opinions about popular films. And if you want to hear some good film debate, plus different segments like I had mentioned, 5 fun facts, Amazon 5 and 1-star reviews, critics 5 and 1-star reviews, all that, the Rotten Tomatoes stuff we do, we mix it all in there, and it's funny. Most importantly, it's funny. That's the goal. Because again, no one gives a shit about 4 dudes, 4 unknowns sitting around a table going, Star Wars is better than Empire. No, Empire is better than Star Wars. No, both of you are morons. Jedi is better. No one gives a shit, and it's not funny usually. We do all that, and I think we do it pretty damn well.
You just do a fun comedic face-off, and it's just fun to have the smack talk back and forth. No. Funny
you said face off. Anthony Cumia did face off on our podcast.
Yes, he did.
And that's at guttingthesacredcow.com. We're on every single major podcast platform, even the small ones too. Do us a favor. Go write us a 5-star rating, 2 or 3 sentence review on that podcast platform of choice. It does help us. It really does. Big time. And just follow us on the socials at Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and of course GTSC podcast on Twitter. That's our favorite. And by the way, back to those 5-star ratings and reviews, I screenshot my favorites and put them on social media. So if you're going to write a review, make sure it's 5-star and make sure it's snappy, and I will post that shit on there if it's funny. That's my promise to you. GuttingTheSacredCow.com. Thank you so much all for my pitch, and I appreciate you, Cam, for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. I had seen your post on a personal tragedy, and I was like, well, I was already going to ask him for an interview, but now I really got to get you on. I got to get Kevin in the happy zone.
What do you mean personal tragedy?
Oh, you were mentioning that your dog had passed.
Oh yeah, my sister. That's right, my sister's dog. Yeah, that's my sister. That's my buddy.
Yeah, this day sucks. I'm like, nah, can't have unhappy Kevin.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a bad day. That was a rough one. All right, man. Thanks again for having me, everyone. Thanks again for listening to our rhetoric. It was fun.
All right, Godspeed. Keep influencing other comedians.
I'm hoping. Good luck, and good luck, comics. I'm rooting for you. Believe me. All right, guys. Later.
All right. Badass.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up